And I truly believe that what I've learned has cut my success timeline in probably 100th of what it would have taken me, because I just have such a clear understanding now of my goal, my vision, my future. I want to give you guys that clarity. I could say you're going to be worth 10 million in the next 3 years. And Fernando could be like, yeah, I am. But if you don't understand how that money's going to be made, you're never going to do it. So I want to give you guys, I want to lay down the law and be like, hey, here's the 5 steps, 5 skills you got to learn to become a self-made millionaire.
Around the world, made it to the game, bitch too afraid.
5 skills. Now, are there more than 5 skills you're gonna have to learn if you want to be worth a million times 10 times 100? Yes, there's plenty of skills. I could give you 1,000 different skills that you could go learn that would make you more money. But there's 5 that are for sure proven the most important skills. And the reason I dialed it down to 5 is because you don't need to focus on more than one at a time. You need to just master the level that you're on and go to the next level. I see too many people that are like trying to do all these different things. And I'm like, bro, you see me, you see Andy, you see all these guys that we're mentoring, like there's nothing special about anybody. They just mastered a certain set of skills. So first one, very, very simple. This is something that you probably don't pay enough attention to, but it's holding you back big time. This is gonna be your mindset. Now, trust me when I tell you this, as I go up this ladder, you guys are gonna realize that I'm gonna talk more high level stuff as we go up the levels. When I say mindset's very basic. It's like show up at the gym, don't quit, freaking think highly of yourself, have confidence. And I'm gonna get into it a little bit, but this is step 1. This is simple, step 1, you gotta master it. And then we'll talk about the more advanced stuff. By the end of this call, you'll be like, dude, this guy knows his shit. So mindset first. And I'll tell you some things I think about when I think of mindset. I'll tell you some things that I was able to overcome that allowed me to have a strong mindset. Number 1, I mastered my self-image, my self-talk, my self-image. And that's what I would tell you guys to do. You gotta, like Andy always says, total recreation. And I'll tell you what it means. It means that you gotta kill off your old self, because without doing that, you literally can't go make a million, 100 grand. You can't do anything until you can see yourself doing it. And that was the problem for me, because I grew up poor my whole life. I literally was like around the worst people. They were doing drugs. They were self-sabotaging every single way you possibly can. So I walked around like I was self-sabotaging. I walked around like a loser. And you know what's funny is this is the value of having a good coach. Like if you come to one of our events and one of our coaches comes up and shakes your hand, we got extreme confidence and we're extremely bold. And if you're not confident, you might have gotten this if you've ever been to the Lions Den before. If you've ever met anybody from my team, whether it was me or somebody else or Andy, if we notice that you're not confident, we're gonna tell you. And you're gonna be like, bro, how are you gonna attack me like that? And we're gonna be like, dude, I'm just being freaking honest. Well, that was me. The first time I came out to the Lions Den, I had long shaggy hair. I freaking had posture like this. And I went up to shake Andy's hand and I was like, hello, sir. And Andy was like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, what's wrong with your confidence? Andy literally said that to me when I first met him. And I said, what do you mean? And he's like, dude, you're not confident. You need to believe in yourself. You need to get a new identity. He's like, where do you get that freaking old ass identity from? And I was like, dude, I don't know. And he's like, listen, bro. He's like, shake, freaking relax. He's like, freaking stretch out. He's like, you're going to need to have confidence. You're going to need to make bold moves if you're going to be successful. So I dropped a gem there and I'm going to go back to it. How do you build confidence? You make bold ass moves. You do shit that is way beyond your current life. Like one of the reasons, so like social media for me, if any of you guys follow me on social media, I post all the time and I talk massive shit on social media. You know, social media has helped me get better in every area of life because I hold myself accountable. Like I'm going to post a post tomorrow and I'm going to be like, I'm freaking killing it. I'm freaking making all this money. I'm freaking helping people. And because I call my shot, I get better because I keep calling my shot. See, a lot of people won't post on social media because they're scared that people are going to watch them make a claim and then not follow through. Does that make sense? Like a lot of people are scared to get embarrassed. They're like, they don't want to go online and be like, hey guys, I'm selling cars, or hey guys, I'm selling real estate. Hit me up if you need help. They're scared to make that post because they're afraid that in a couple weeks, they're gonna quit, and then people are gonna judge them and be like, man, this guy's a freaking quitter. Well, guess what? 2 years ago when I started working for Andy, he said, Brendan, if you want to be great, you got to build a personal brand. I'm going to get there, by the way. Don't worry about that. I'm going to talk to you about that too. I'll probably tell you need to be on social media about 20 times on this call, but you need to post it. You don't need to watch it, okay? Now, going back to that, he goes, you need to post on social media. I said, done. And guess what? For the first couple months, I was on and off, on and off. I'd post one day, I'd make a post, I'd be like, God, I was really bold in that post. I said I was going to do all this stuff. What if I don't do it? And then people laugh at me. And then you know what? I got to this point where I was like, I'm going to freaking call my damn shot. I'm going to freaking be bold as shit. I'm going to grab the sack. There's 9 of us on, or 10 of us on here, and we're all dudes. So I can say grab the sack, all right? But I said I'm going to grab the sack and I'm going to freaking talk my shit. Not arrogance. I'm just going to call my shot. I'm going to talk about who I'm becoming, right? And another thing you guys got to do is you got to talk in your future truth. Write that down. I will speak in my future truth. I had a sales guy that started working here for Andy, and he said, dude, what do I say if someone asks me what I make? I said, what do you want to make? He said, 100 grand a month. I said, when somebody asks you, you say 100 grand a month. I said it's called freaking talking about your future truth. Like, I'm always talking about my future truth. I'm literally not like future truth. I own $1 million in real estate, but I talk about, like, I talk and I walk around like I own like 10 million, you know? And I earn a lot, but I talk about like I earn even more. And I got, I don't know, anything I have, I talk in terms of my, like, where I'm going. Does that make sense? So, like, you got to start speaking this stuff into existence. You got to start being like, dude, my insurance agency has I got 10 people under me already. Maybe you got 9 in the pipeline. I got 10 under me right now. And you just, every time you say it, you got to be taking action on it too. But every time you say it, it's just like becomes more and more real, you know? So, mindset, that makes sense to you guys? Making bold moves, working on your inner self, your voice, your internal dialogue, and your self-image. Like, I think the hardest part for a lot of people is like looking in the mirror and seeing, like, Andy talks about this all the time, but I want you guys to really soak this in. He says, you got to look in the mirror and you got to kill off your old self. Like, you got to look in the mirror, you got to see who you could become, and you got to find a better version of yourself. You got to live like you're that person. And if you can do that, dude, I mean, that's step one. It's like literally being like, hey, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be so confident that no one can throw me off. I want to be so wealthy that I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want. And I want to freaking change everybody's life that I talk to because I'm so powerful. And guess what? You start walking around like it. And at first you're faking it, and pretty soon you're a freaking savage. And it happens like that. Like, it's like if you just keep pushing through the disbelief, eventually you're going to program yourself to believe it. So, mindset's number one. Now, number two, we're going to get a little bit into the skills. Okay? Skill number 2, sales. Now, here's what I would say. I'm going to give you guys a general rule of thumb. There's 3 more skills, there's 3 more levels, and I'm going to talk about those. But I would not even concern yourself with the next 3. I want you to listen to them because I want you to know what to be prepared for. But I wouldn't study any of these other skills until you're making at least $10,000 a month. I will literally tell you right now, I'm being dead honest, that, I mean, for the past 4 years, I've never in a month earned under $10,000. I would say that you got to focus on like mindset and sales. If you just learn those 2 skills, you'll never make less than 10 grand. If you really can sell, if you really know how to sell. And that can be tough to like look in the mirror and like literally admit that, but you got to go back to these 2 things. You got to go back to it. You got to be like, hey, where am I screwing up in sales? Where's my confidence off? What is it? Most likely it's a confidence issue if you study a lot of sales training. I'll give you something else I want you to write down. Performance, so like write down performance equals knowledge minus leashes. Leashes is in like a leash you put on a dog. That is the ultimate indicator of your success. That's the success formula. And here's what that means. Performance is ultimately what your paycheck is. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. Knowledge is what you know. It's your skill set. It's how well versed you are in sales. A lot of you guys may know all of Andy's content. I could probably hit you with every single objection and you could probably dead bury it, bullseye. But minus leashes. That means what you know will be subtracted by what your leashes are, what mental blocks you have in your head. Whether it's belief, whether it's identity, whatever it is, whether it's work ethic, it could be anything mental. Does that make sense? So you have to always be working on your mental leashes. Like I've seen guys who are way more skilled, but they don't believe. And it's really sad. But I will tell you this, if you build your skills, your belief is gonna show up eventually. As soon as you realize it. Once you realize how valuable you are, it's over. Like if Fernando knew his value, it'd be over. He'd already be a millionaire. But he doesn't know how valuable he is yet. He doesn't know that he's capable of it yet. But once he realizes it, he'll be one. See, I call this being a self-made millionaire because I came from nothing. When I finally started to get crazy results in sales, start to really catch fire in life, and I realized I could become a millionaire, I started making a lot of progress. Like I'm talking about a lot. Like I got over that $500,000 pretty quick. Because once you realize, once you like get out of this mental prison you put yourself in, you're set free for life. It's literally like a prison. Like the rest of the world will convince you that you're not worth it. You got to be in a 9-to-5. Sales isn't the way, entrepreneurship. Once you finally accept it, once you finally believe it, it's like a damn magic trick, bro. You can do whatever you want. You start dreaming so big. Because I used to be like, hey, all I want in life is this. I want no debt. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be worth $1 million. Now I'm like, dude, I need a freaking Bentley. I need 10 million. I need 50 million at least. If I make 200 grand in a month, I'm freaking broke. And dude, when I started talking like that, it became easy. You know what I'm saying? So, sales. Let me give you a couple sales tips real quick. Because my whole thing is I just want you to understand the levels, and then over the next couple calls we do, I'll break all this stuff down. We'll go deep on all this stuff. So sales is very simple. Number one, you got to learn how to show people you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And look, you've heard this a million times probably, but you got to practice your ability to show people you care. There's a skill set of having warmth, radiating good vibes that like no word track could beat. You could be the slickest dude. You could have every word track memorized, but if you can't shake my hand and I can say, Fernando, what's up, man? How you doing? You'll never be successful. You'll never be as great as you could be in sales. If you guys were in this room with me right now, like, can you guys feel a little bit of passion from me on a Zoom call? And I'll be honest with you, man. Zoom calls, I don't really like Zoom calls because I like to do in person. If you guys were in person with me right now, you would feel that I'm like radiating good energy. Like I'm like if you're within 3 feet of me, you feel a good vibe. You're smiling. You're like, dude, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, what's up with this dude? What did this guy freaking put in his coffee? You know? You got to learn how to master that. And it's a skill. Anything that can be learned is a skill. So how do you practice? Dude, you literally make it a habit. You like literally become grateful. You understand that everybody that's in front of you, they have a problem. Like, you know what I think before I make sales calls? When I talk to people who reach out to Andy, I think, dude, this is a real person. He's got a family. He's got parents. He's got kids. It's a real person. This is a real dude. So you got to think about that when people come in to work with you. Dude, these are real people. Most likely they're not on Zoom calls like this. So they're negative. Their life's very negative. They're very sad. They're very depressed. Make that hour, 30 minutes, 3 hours, however long they spend with you, the best 3 hours of their freaking year. And you'll close 10 for 10, even if you're the worst salesperson of all time. You could be the shittiest salesperson, make $100,000 a month if you just care like this. Because people will feel when you're talking, they'll be like, you know what? This is a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but this guy really believes in it. And I like him. Screw it. I'll do it. And you'll pull off those miracle deals. Your dealership or whatever business you're in, your managers will be like my managers used to be like, how the hell did you get the customer to agree to this car payment? And I'm like, dude, I freaking care. They know I care. I care more than anybody they've ever talked to in their life. That's how I close them, boss. Now, number 3. This one's big. So once you get to 10 grand and you're like, how do I make $50,000, $100,000 a month? Or how do I even make 25 grand? How do I make 25 grand easy? Like easy. Because you print money when you master this one. The other 2 are like the top level, but you print money when you master this one. This one's going to be relationships. You got to learn how to stack your relationships. I used to be so stupid, bro. So I used to sell cars. When I first started selling cars, I would like I sold the freaking mayor of my town a car one time and I didn't even follow up with him. This was when I first started. I was a freaking dumbass. But I learned my lesson because for the first year I sold cars, I was making about, like the max I made was like 15 grand, working my ass off, working like 90 hours a week. And the second year, I was making 25 to 30,000 a month. And I was working 40 hours a week, not 90. And the only difference was I built relationships. After I'd sell a car, I would call the customer and I would say, Keegan, what's up, man? It's Brendan. You bought your car for me a couple days ago. I just want to make sure God's got your favor. You're loving the vehicle. There's no concerns. I mean, dude, if you got anything on your heart, anything that I can do to make you freaking like me a little bit more, enjoy the car, have a better life, is there any requests you have of me? I don't even care how crazy they are, dude. Anything under the sun, I'll make it happen. No? You're good? Awesome, dude. Well, as soon as you do, this is my cell. Please save this number, okay? I got your freaking back. And then I call him 2 weeks later. Keegan, what's up, man? Hey, you know anybody who wants to buy a car, bro? You know? But relationships are so important, bro. Like, think about it, man. Like, I'm going to give you guys a real life scenario, okay? How many of you guys would like to work for the Elliott Group? Do you think if you ever wanted to work for the Elliott Group, I'm really close to Andy, okay? I'm one of his top producers, and I'm with him almost every day. Do you think that if you ever wanted to work for Andy, he'd probably ask me what I thought of you? And do you think if I was like, dude, that guy's a freaking asshole, like, and like literally money out of the equation, like how do you show up on Zoom calls? Are you respectful? Like, do you show love? Do you follow like, are you coachable? Like, if people you got to have people's favor to win in life. You got to have people's favor. Like, look, people say, I don't care what people think of me. Dude, I care a lot what people think of me, man. I just don't care what freaking losers think of me. I don't care what freaking low frequency freaking dirtbags who comment on my Instagram post think of me. I could give 2 fucks, honestly. I comment back and I'm like, bro, you have an embarrassing life. That's all I say when people comment on, like people comment negatively on all my shit. And I'm like, I literally respond, your life is embarrassing. Have a good day. I don't care, bro. But do I care about what you guys think? Yeah, man, I want to help you guys, man. I want you guys to like me. I have this thing where I think everybody likes me. It's so funny because I like myself. And by the way, that's a relationship tip. the most important relationship you could ever have is the one you have with yourself. Write that down. Say, in order for everybody to love me, I got to love me. I got to love me more than anybody. See, I love myself. I'm being honest, dude. I like myself a lot. There was a time when I didn't. I didn't really start loving myself until about a year ago. And that's when my income quadrupled, is when I started loving myself. So you guys got to love yourself, because when people are around you, whatever thought you have is the frequency. Like Bradley says, your frequency is what you frequently see. So, for example, if I see love, if all I'm thinking about all day is, man, I love myself, man, I'm getting better, man, I'm getting stronger, I'm going to be looking for that. I'm going to see it in other people. I'm going to see things I love in other people. I'm going to see strength in other people. I'm going to see happiness. You see what I mean? But if I'm always like negative and all this shit, dude, I'm gonna be looking around for negative stuff, and I'm gonna look at everybody and be like, oh, look at him, his hair's messed up. Oh, look at him, like he's got a bad attitude. And then I'm just a freaking negative motherfucker, and I'm gonna be broke my whole life. But learn to love yourself, and then stack your relationships. How do you stack your relationships? Here's how you do it. Let's say that Tristan goes to Walmart today. Just saying, like random example. And let's say he meets somebody, and this guy's like, hey man, you know, like they just bump in the grocery store and they start talking, and the guy owns a car dealership. If I remember Tristan's story correctly, you're not in sales yet, but you're looking to get into it, right? Got it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Hell yeah. So what's Tristan looking to get? He's looking to get a good job, man. So let's say he bumps into a guy who owns a car dealership. What does he do? Well, he has a great conversation with the guy, and he says, hey man, let me grab your number. Like, I'm young, but I'm going to be looking for a sales job soon. I'd love to like join your team and give it everything I have to help you grow your dealership. Can we connect? And then he grabs his phone number, puts it in his phone, and you know what he does in his notes on his phone, his notes app? He puts a note that's called relationships. And he puts Keegan Glatz, owner of a car dealership. And then he writes down, met this guy in Walmart, great guy, owns a car dealership called XYZ Auto, had a quick conversation. That's it, right? Every time you meet somebody who's like in your business, in your line of business, or you could potentially do business with at some point, whether it's them do business with you, you do business with them, whatever it is, you put it in a log of relationships. Because you know what's going to happen? One day, Tristan's going to be like, hey, I need something. I need a job, or I need this. Well, he's going to have a whole freaking book. He's going to have a whole notebook of freaking people he could call. Because what did Bradley say? Bradley said, money doesn't grow on trees. It grows in other people's pockets. So if I have, like, dude, I'm telling you this. I'm being dead ass. If I go in my phone right now, my notes and in my contacts, I have probably 10,000 plus contacts. But I have about 1,000 people in my contact book that earn over $1 million a year. So if somebody put a gun to my head and they said, hey, you got to go out and you got to collect $100,000, you can sell whatever, but you got to collect $100,000 by the end of the day, or you're dead. You're dead. Like, I'm going to kill you. I would find that. I would literally call that list, and I would have $100,000 in like 10 minutes. But why would people say yes to me? Because those 1,000 people, I don't call them every day and go, hey, David, I need to sell something. Will you buy something? I call them and I go, hey, David, what can I do to help you, brother? I don't need anything. What can I do to help you? Because I got to help you before you're going to help me. Because I'm a giver, not a taker. I ain't trying to take anything from you. I'm trying to give you value. And guess what? So if every time you're talking to somebody, if every time I'm talking to Fernando or I'm talking to Jaden, I'm giving him value, I'm teaching him how to sell, I'm helping him with his mindset. When I call him, if he understands relationships, he's going to give me some value when I need some. That's how it works. It's a game of reciprocity. And people who don't understand that, dude, they stay broke. Like, you got to recognize, and you got to think right now. I want you to do an exercise real quick. I want you to think of 3 people in your life that have been giving you a lot, whether it's family, friends, mentors, anybody. Just think of 3 people that really help you out. And I want you to, when you get off the phone, when you get off the Zoom, I want you to text them and say, hey, Jacob, Thanks for being such a gracious friend. I owe you, brother. Have a good day. Do you know how much of a long way that's going to go? What do you think's going to happen next time you call that person you need something? You think they're going to say yes? Fuck yeah, they are. They're a lot more likely, at least they're a lot more likely to say yes than they are you just calling them out of the blue, haven't talked to him since last time you needed something, and saying, hey, Jacob, you want to buy this? Or, can you freaking come help me with my computer issue? You guys see what I mean? It's like relationships. You got to love people, you got to care, but you also got to have strategy in place, all right? Number 4. We're getting up there, dude. Now we're talking about levels. This is one I hope all of you get. I hope all you get your hands on this bad boy. Because if you do, you guys will all have great lives. Not just financially, but you'll literally be able to support the causes you want to support, impact people the way you want to. Best thing you could ever do. Number 4 is going to be personal branding. And I'll explain to you why this is so important. So personal branding is a skill set that just in the past 5 years became really, really important. It wasn't important about 20 years ago. It really wasn't. Because no one really had a brand. It wasn't really a big thing. But right now, this era that we're living in, it is freaking important, dude. It's so important. And I'll tell you why. Remember the relationships I was telling you about? Somebody pointed a gun to my head and said, make $100,000 before the day's up or you're dead. Let's say that we did that, we played that game, and it was me versus David. And David has no social media, but I do. We have the same network, but I have social media and he doesn't. You know how I'm going to go make $100,000? I'm going to go make a freaking Instagram story and I'm going to talk about something that brings people value that they need to go buy. And instead of having to call 1,000 people, I'm going to get freaking 10 of them to raise their hand and ask for help. And I'm going to have 10 qualified leads right there on the spot. And that's the power of a personal brand. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys a real life lesson I've learned. And you're going to be like, unless you are already making a lot of money, you're going to be like, this guy's full of shit. But I promise you I'm not, okay? When you start making a lot of money, you literally stop caring about money. You don't give a fuck. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I really don't care, bro. I'm just as happy now as I was 3 years ago when I had $0 in my bank account. Because it's all, to me, once you start making enough money, it's all about fulfillment. It's all about impact. It's all about, are you making progress? Well, my brand allows me to make impact on people. Going back to that, you remember how I said, become great so that you can change people's lives? When someone DMs me and they're like, hey man, your content's really helping me out. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to do. That's how I know my freaking message is hitting home. That's why I'm glad whenever I was freaking doing drugs, I decided to freaking stop being a loser. And I'm like, yes, that is what the hell I'm talking about. And when I get 100 of those messages and then 1,000, I'm just like, dude, I'm so grateful I can close anybody because I'm just fired up on life, man. I feel like a freaking winner. So social media, it's good because you can inspire people. You can hold yourself accountable. That's what's really cool about it too. You can hold yourself accountable. Going back to that, if Fernando goes online, he says in 3 years, think about this, guys. You guys remember Andy 3 years ago? Go watch one of Andy's videos from 3 years ago. What did he say? We have the world's #1 sales training company. Did we have it at that time? No. We were very small. We were making some money, but we definitely weren't doing what we're doing now. But what happened though? Because he says that, he shows up every day and he freaking holds himself accountable. So if I go, dude, I'm the best sales trainer in the world. I'm the best head coach for Andy Elliott there ever was. Well, guess what? Now I got a pretty good load on my back I got to carry. But accountability is good for me. If I never get on social media and claim it, I'm not ever going to hold myself accountable. So you can hold yourself accountable, reach a lot of people, You can like, now let's talk about money. You can monetize the shit out of it. Like, if you build a personal brand, like if any of you guys had 100,000 followers, you would probably make more money than me, because you could sell whatever you wanted to. You'd have brands wanting to pay you. You'd have individuals who do business with any product you promoted. If you had 100,000 fans, any product you wanted to sell, people would, some of those people would buy it. This is how it works. So how do you build a brand? By the way, we're gonna go deeper on all this stuff, okay? But by the way, you guys like what I'm putting down? You guys, is this guy resonating with you guys? Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, we're gonna go way deeper on all this shit. I'm gonna arm you guys for freaking war. You guys are gonna be freaking sales fucking savages, bro. Crazy. But the brand. Going back to that, right? One more thing. So you look at all these guys like Andy, Brad, all these guys like Hormozi, like you could throw out a bunch of brands, right? Those guys have accomplished a lot. So it's very important that if you're going to build a brand, when you decide to build a brand, you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to be doing better tomorrow than you are today. Does that make sense? Because no one wants to watch a guy on social media who's moving backwards. Like, imagine if you made a post today and you're like, hey guys, I made 100 grand last year, and then the next year you were like, hey guys, I made 70 grand last year. Here's a sales tip. People are like, dude, what are you talking about? So you gotta, that's why it's so great though, because you put your back against the wall. You gotta be making progress, right? So am I as accomplished as Andy, Hormozi, Bradley? Do I have social proof on that level? No. But I'm documenting myself getting better is what I'm doing. I am documenting myself getting better. If you want proof that what I say works, go on my timeline, scroll back about a year, and then go back about 2 years, and then go back about 3 years, and you'll be like, all right, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about. Because if you look at me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you'll see me smoking a cigarette with my hat on backwards in a cornfield, drunk off Busch Light. And then you'll see me now, and you'll be like, bro, those aren't the same two people. Those are two different people. And you'll realize that what I'm saying, I'm actually living now. I'm not a fraud. So what you guys need to do to build a brand is literally just document your life. Like when you make posts, here's the fastest way to turn people off. Let's say I wanted to make a fitness post, and I said, here's how to become a bodybuilder. But obviously you see me and I don't look like a bodybuilder. People are like, next. I'm not listening to this guy. He's not a freaking bodybuilder. That's the fastest way to turn people off. Here's what I'd say instead if I were to make a fitness video. I put on 10 pounds of muscle in the past 90 days. Here's the secret to how I did it. You can't argue with that. It's what I did. I didn't say I was a bodybuilder. I said I put on 10 pounds of muscle in the past 90 days. So people are like, okay, I'll listen. You see what I mean? You never go, like, don't be an idiot. Don't be like, here's how I became rich on crypto, but you've only ever invested $10. You know what I'm saying? Just state the facts. Like, I state the facts. I go, guys, listen, I'm 25. I've got $1 million in real estate, no consumer debt. I'm one of the top producers on Andy Elliott's sales team. Here's a sales tip. I'm not the best. I'm just what I told you I was. People like that. That's authenticity. Does that make sense? People are like, well, and guess what? The people who are like want to be where I'm at, they're like, I'll listen. It worked for you. Might work for me too. You know? Last one. This one's the big one. This one's the money. This one is called mastering money. Mastering money. So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek into what I invest in. And all it's going to do, literally I'm going to save you 1,000 hours on YouTube by literally telling you what I invest in, okay? And it's so simple. And you're going to be like, what the hell? But it's been working for me, okay? So I believe there's two types of investing. There is active, there's two types of, my bad, there's two types of income, passive and active. So I don't invest actively. I actively run a business under Andy Elliott and that's how I kill it. I passively invest. If I was an active investor, I would invest a whole lot different. I would be like trading stocks every day. I'd be flipping houses. I don't do any of that stuff, bro. Like I didn't like do a ton of research when I bought real estate. You guys want to know how I bought a bunch of real estate? Relationships. I met a guy who's like, I'm a real estate investor. I said, how much real estate you got? He said 7 million. He said, I made 2.5 million last year investing in real estate. I said, I'll take your advice. I said, tell me what to do. I'll give you 100 grand. That's how much I'm ready to invest in real estate. He goes, I got you, bro. And I was like, dude, see, that's passive. I didn't go, well, show me how to do it. I'm gonna go flip a freaking house. Nah, I already got my active income. And you guys, everybody here's in sales, right? Raise your hand if you're gonna be in sales or that's what you want to do. So sales, and I'm gonna tell you something. The highest ROI on investing you'll ever get is investing in yourself. I promise. That's not just something I'm saying to trick you into buying a course. That is the way it works. I'm like almost a 7-figure a year earner. I'm just gonna tell you that. I'm almost earning $1 million a year. 4 years ago, I had never made over 10 grand in a year. Do you think, and I've invested in my lifetime over 100 grand into myself. Okay? Do you think I'd be where I'm at now if I would have put that 100 grand into real estate? Do you think it'd be paying me the return it's paying me now? Hell no. No. If I put 100 grand into real estate 4 years ago, it'd probably be worth 300 grand. But it wouldn't have me to where I'm at in my income. And this skill set I have now, no one can take it from me. You can't take it. And guess what? The real estate market could crash. The stock market could crash. I could go back to zero, have to start from the beginning, but I have the skills of the $100,000 I've invested in myself, and you can't take it away. I could go make it all back. Isn't that cool? No one can ever steal it. It's the ultimate superpower. So, all I'm saying is, if you want the fastest return, invest it in yourself. Don't even worry about investing any money into anything until you're making like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Because I sat with a guy the other day who is over $1 million client for the Elliott Group. This guy has paid Andy over $1 million. He's a multi-millionaire. You know what he told me at dinner? He's 50 years old. He said, Brendan, being rich is awesome. I was like, I bet. He said, you know what's better than being rich? Being rich and being young. He said, dude, I like driving my Bentley, my Ferrari, my Lamborghini. He said, but you know what would be a lot better? If I was 25 driving that thing. And you know what it made me realize? It made me think, I am so damn glad that I'm where I'm at working for Andy, because it's like anybody can make $1 million. Like, I could work 20 years and make 50 grand a year, and after 20 years, I have made $1 million, technically, right? What the fuck does that mean, bro? Like, that it's all about time frame. How fast can you make it? Does that make sense? Like, if you made 100 grand, look, let me tell you about 3 people who made $1 million before. Tell me which one you want to be. I got guy 1 who made 50 grand a year for 20 years, guy 2 who made 100 grand for 10 years, and then I got guy 3 who made $1 million in a year. Which one do you want to be? You want to do it in 20, 10, or 1 year?
3 for sure.
You guys, isn't that weird to think about? Like, holy shit! Like, some of you guys may have already earned $1 million. You just have been doing what you're doing for the past 10 years. So, what that made me realize was investing. Like, because here's what everybody else can tell you. because I've heard of I listen to some of the stuff Dave Ramsey puts out, and I'm not like, I'm not going to tell you like that guy, like I don't like that guy because he's got more money than me. And I'm not going to tell you that I like all of his stuff and I agree with it because he talks to 9 to 5 people, not entrepreneurs. But I do agree with some of the stuff he says, but some of it's like doesn't apply to what we're doing. Does that make sense? So, when it comes to investing, if you go like, dude, I got $5,000 in the bank, and then you want to go invest $1,000 into the stock market, you're better off putting $5,000 into yourself to take your income from $5,000 a month to 25, because you're going to get rich a lot faster if you can invest $10,000 a month in investing $500 a month. That's like the difference between the guy who takes 20 years versus the guy who takes a year. See, like, I'm currently investing, like, literally when I say investing, I mean like into the market, into real estate, like over $20,000 a month is what I'm investing into the market. That's going to get me wealthy a lot faster than when I was making $10,000 a year. You see what I mean? So what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is before you worry about like what's the best stock, what's the best real estate to buy, just focus on your skill set, because any time you spend worrying about this other shit is going to keep you broke. Like just like I said, dive into mindset, dive into sales, dive into relationships and branding. And then once you look in your bank account and you're out spending it, you got an extra $10,000 a month coming in. Now call me up and I'll give you my guy's number for the real estate. All right. And then he'll ask, because here's the thing, if you do it too early, he'll be like, all right, bro, I got you a property. This is what he did to me. He goes, I got a property. It's in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to manage it for you. It's going to be $150,000. You're going to wire me $40,000 right now. And I was like, cool. I'll send the wire tomorrow. But then I had a client who reached out and goes, who's your real estate guy? I said, I'll give you his number, but you can't waste his time. This dude's a multimillionaire. I said, you're making $8,500 a month. I said, you're probably not ready. The guy goes, I'm ready. Gave him his number, gave him a property. The guy didn't buy. He wasn't ready. He needs to go make more money. He probably should have invested in one of our programs. You know what I mean? But here's the deal. So once you get your earned income very high, here's the 2 things that I invest in. I like real estate, and I like the market. And what do I mean by the market? I do not buy individual stocks, and I don't buy crypto. I think that shit's very dangerous, because for every person I know who became a millionaire, which I don't even have records to prove it, in crypto, I know 100 people who went broke. So I buy real estate, and like if it's your first property, it could literally be your personal residence. And then from there you should start buying rental properties. Like I've got 2 rental properties right now. So they pay me cash flow. I make a couple $100 a month. It doesn't make me rich. That's why I'm saying it's a long-term play, and my active income is the majority of everything I make. But it does feel good to collect like $1,000 profit a month on freaking rental properties. It feels badass. I will say, when you get that, the first time you make a little bit of passive income, you're like, damn, dude, let's go. This is cool. I like this. But you realize it's like only a smaller percentage of your income, so it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make you a millionaire. But I like real estate, and number 2, I like index funds. And I'll tell you why. So like, if I buy a single stock, let's say some guy calls me, and Austin calls me, and he's like, bro, Apple's about to blow up, dude. Apple stock's about to quadruple. You better buy it now. He goes, go all in on it. Put all your chips in the basket. I'm a passive investor. I'm not a full-time investor, so I don't know for a fact. I don't study it enough to know it's going to actually blow up. So if I put $300,000 into Apple, and then something happened and it tanked to 0, well, now I'm broke. But if I buy index funds, it's like a basket of 500 stocks in one stock. So you buy it and you have ownership in 500 companies, which means that if 5 of the 500 went out of business, you still have 495 others. And it's all the top 500 companies in the United States economy. Like, unless you're really freaking paranoid, you're not worried about that ever going down, because we would be in an apocalypse, and you'd have a lot more shit to worry about if you put $1 million into the S&P 500 and then it went to zero. You'd have way bigger shit to worry about. You'd need to go to Mars. So I put over 6 figures into that, because when you put that kind of money into it, like, it pays 10 to 12% a year. So like, what that means is if I put $1 million cash into it, it'll grow in year 2. If I didn't look at it for a whole year, by year 2 it's going to be at 1.1 million. But what's cool about it is it compound interest. So year 2 it'll go from 1.1, it'll pay 10% of 1.1, which would be 110 year 2. But what's also cool about it is if I went into that fund and I pulled 100 grand from it, let's say, so I put it in, like, make sure you understand what I'm saying. If I put in $1 million today, and 1 year from now it was 1.1 million, and I pulled out 100 grand and I let it sit for another year, it would, so I year 1 it's $1 million, then it's 1.1, I pull out 100, so now it's $1 million again. It's going to go earn me another 100 that next year. So I'm making 100K a year on passive income. Does that make sense? So like right now, with over 6 figures sitting in there, I can make like $10,000 to $20,000 a year without doing anything. And I didn't use an IRA because I'm not a 9-to-5 employee. I'm a 1099. So I can pull from it whenever I want. I don't get fees on it. I don't get taxed on it. Does that make sense? So do you guys see how I told you we're going to get a little bit more advanced? Like, now we're just talking about the real shit. But that concludes the 5 freaking skills, baby. Let's go. If you execute on these, and I mean it, you will be a millionaire. There's no way you cannot be one. That's it, dude. So here's what I'm going to do. I blocked off an hour for this call, so I have 4 minutes. I'll take like 2 questions, and then we'll deuce off of here. Can I ask you guys something first? Because I'm going to do these calls for free, but I want to ask you guys if you'll do something for me. Can you all grab your phone? So who knows about the drawing that we're doing? The drawing I'm doing for the Patrick Bet-David tickets. Okay. If you post this story, I'll count it as 2 entries for 1. So if you post a story, I'll count it as 2 entries. So your name will be dropped to the basket twice. But I want you to just take a picture, bam, put it on your story, tag my Instagram and say, hit up my, fire call with Brendan or whatever you want to say. And then
make a pose, Brendan.
Hell yeah, I got you. Let's go. Everybody get one? Let's go. Yeah, because, listen, this, what I'm going to do for the Patrick Bet-David drawing, by the way, is I'm going to do a Zoom live, which, like, let's say you're really busy and you can't make this Zoom call that I'm going to drop. I'll probably put it on the calendar before the end of the day. But it'll be August 1st. Sometime either August 1st or anytime after that, I'll get on a Zoom. I'll have a bucket with all the entries in it. So every time you guys post it on the story, I'll have your name. Like, let's say, like Tristan will probably have like 15. I'll put 15 of his names in a basket. They're going to be paper names. I'm going to shake it up in front of you guys, and then I'm going to draw 2 names. And the 2 people get the $1,000 vault tickets. And then I'm probably going to end up doing a lot of special other shit for you too. But we'll start there. So yeah, if you took a picture of this, posted it on your story, tagged me in it, and just gave me a shout out, then I'll put your name into the basket 2 more times than I was already going to. Now, I'll take 2 questions, maybe 1, depending on if it's a freaking long ass question. But if you guys don't have any, then we're done, and I'll see you guys next month. Is everybody good?
I have a question about just content on social media. I'm not really in a spot of like authority yet, so it's like high school kind of getting ready to start sales later.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find like things to make content about without coming across as like arrogant and cocky and like I don't really know what I'm talking about, you know?
Yep. I got you, bro. You want me to give you a tip that's gonna blow your mind? You always have you always have authority over somebody. It's who do you have authority over? You want to know who a most likely is? You're most qualified to help the person you used to be. Talk to yourself 6 months ago before you found the Elliott Group.
Am I left, right?
Yeah, but talk to yourself 6 months ago who you used to be. Like,
hey, Brendan, I got a question, bro.
Hey, is that good, Austin? Is that good?
Yeah. Completely. Thank you.
My man. Fernando, my boy, let's go.
What's up, bro? Hey, bro, how do you fix your lead problem, bro? Like something that you could implement today and like just get, results, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Or at least 1%.
Yep. So when you say leads, what industry is it, and what are you offering? Is it real financial?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you buy leads? Don't you buy leads?
Yeah, I'm trying to not buy so many leads, because the new structure of business that they're going with, it's like the advanced market stuff. So I'm reaching out to a lot of warm market, but
Yep.
you exhaust that pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, like, I see you posting more on social media, which I'll definitely be doing that. How many people have you helped in the past, 90 days?
2 people.
Two people?
I'm kind of new. Yeah, I'm kind of new. I've been doing it for 2 months.
Okay. Have you hit them up for referrals yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I would do. Are they happy customers?
Yeah.
Okay, I would call both of them right after this, because I'm telling you, bro, referrals are the best leads by far. I would call both of them, and I would say, hey, Fernando, it was awesome working with you, man. I really want to make this a relationship and work with you for the rest of your life with your financial stuff. I have a quick question. I need to ask you 2 things. And this is all I'm ever going to need from you, by the way. This is the best compliment you could ever send me. I need to know 2 people you think could be helped by what I do, first of all. And also, would you mind making me a quick video testimonial explaining how I was able to guide you and help you with all this stuff? And then what you're going to do is every couple days on your Instagram stories, on your Facebook stories, you're going to be posting, are you confused financially? Do you have questions about how to do you struggle with managing your finances? Watch these videos with the arrows pointing to the next story. 1 video, 2 video. And then last story, another one, that's just words again, that says, these are 2 clients I've recently helped, and I've helped them explode their finances. If you want guidance or have any questions about managing your finances, DM me the word finance, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Every couple days. Just like that.
That's right. All right, bro.
Execute on that. Next time you ask me that, I'll have more ideas for you.
Perfect, bro. Appreciate it.
Let's go, man. Dude, I really love this group, man. I feel like all you guys are super coachable. Fire energy, boys. I'm gonna post y'all on my story too. Boom, baby. Let's go. All right, fellas. So I'm deucing out. I appreciate all you guys. And dude, if y'all need anything, let me know. But hop in the school community. Let everybody know it's fire. And yeah, hit me up if you need anything, boys. All right.
Will do.
Take care, my man. I'll see you this Saturday.
All right, Killis. See you soon.